guys, Roxy here. I thought I would jump here and talk all things ETs and hybrids. I know that a lot of you would love to talk about this topic a lot more than is, I guess, allowed in society, and for me it was something that was just coming hard and fast when I had my awakening. The ETs were popping in, the discovery of self and who I really am was being shown to me. The fact that I've been other extraterrestrial beings in past lifetimes and intergalactic lifetimes was, really loud and clear to me when I had my awakening, and as I've merged up with my higher self. The other thing that has been coming to me through this journey, and something that I haven't shared very much, is hybrid children. So there is a hybridized program, and it's where us light warriors have offered our, reproduction eggs and sperms to the hybrid program. So we have said before we incarnated into this planet that we would, yes, offer our eggs, our human eggs and sperms to help the hybrid program, the Greys program. Now, the Greys have been looked at as very bad in the past, and we don't dismiss and disregard people's experience with abductions and different things like that. However, the Greys' extinction was coming, and so they had to do something about it. So they joined forces with the Galactic Federation, and they made a plan, and us light warriors have come in and helped and offered to be of service. So we've signed some contracts to allow this process to happen before we incarnated. Now you need to remember, before we incarnated, we were very high frequency. We were very gifted. We had a lot of experience, and the veil was thin. It was not even there anymore. So the fact that we've come from such a high place and dropped in such a low density is the reason why we come from a place of fear, worry, and stress and trauma. So as we are ascending back up through the dimensions and dropping the density, we're able to learn this information and learn about this technology and this intelligence and these contracts that we've signed. So I was, yes, a part of this program. I put my hand up, and I know a lot of you, a lot of other people actually have as well. And just talking about it to make it a little bit more, okay. And because people get confused about this type of thing and they feel like they're going mad. And without a good support system and people actually saying and putting their hand up and standing in their sovereignty and saying, hey, yep, I've was also involved in that. It's not a bad thing. It's not a naughty thing. It's not something that you should be feeling like you need to hide. It's just a thing that we've signed up to. There's so much more that we don't even know in this realm of spiritual awakening and galactic, and we have so much more to learn. Okay, so for me, I knew that the Greys, the species, the Greys, were very technologically advanced, okay? And they turned off their heart, they turned off their spirituality. So their species has, been manipulated and cloned and over and over and over. The uniqueness of the Grey species, like the Palladians or like the Octarian beings or like human, they've all been kind of used over many millions of years, and there's not much essence of the Greys in the species DNA anymore. So we joined forces to help them bridge this gap back into spirituality so they can one day transfer and ascend up through the dimensions, because there's only so far you can go in advancement of spiritual enlightenment with technology. Okay, with your heart closed, you'll find it really hard to get past the 5th and 6th dimension. The evolved beings have to be, equipped with their heart portal open, and they have to be able to, return to love, unity, without gain, without wealth, without power. So it's a really interesting time on this planet right now, because there is a lot of greed, there is a lot of wealth and ego and power and manipulation, and a lot of, that area, those people are trying to hold humanity back into a low 3D density. And, you know, us light warriors have come back to this planet. We've put our hand up to volunteer to come back to anchor the light to help Pachamama raise back up into higher states of consciousness. In doing that, we had a couple of jobs that we signed ourselves up to, and one being the hybrid program. I come across a few people in session, in our medbed sessions, when we read into their Akashic records, that they have signed themselves up to this program. And it's sometimes they know, they have this inner knowing. Sometimes they're just like, oh yeah. And it's like the light bulb goes on and their higher self starts to remember. Their human's kind of a little bit confused, but they're kind of going, yeah, there is something here. And so that's why I just felt like it was a good conversation to have on here and share. And, you know, we've done a lot of work on ourselves about being ridiculed in this realm and being judged and all of that. And they're just low frequency. We're honoring our sovereignty and our power. We're honoring this journey and being galactic and bridging the gap between galactic and human. It's okay. A lot of the governments are now coming and saying, yeah, there are UFOs. You know, in the past, people would get ridiculed for these types of conversations or, you know, put in the weird basket. But for Pete and I, like, we're just your average people having an Australian life with Australian family, living here, trying to have fun and work through this knowing of, wow, we're a lot more than humans, having a human experience, and then learning about these other truths within our beings. So the hybrid program I was signed up to, and as a little girl I would get visitations from ETs. And they would come, and I remember a couple of incidences, and it's coming really more clear to me when and how. And so, I was young, and they would take my eggs. It was non-invasive. It was just what it was. It was very magical in terms of them taking and extracting them without physical harm. So it's the DNA that they're taking essentially to mix the DNA of human with a grey species. So you have a couple of different species like lines, which is you might have heard the Sasani or the Yael. They're types of greys that have been cross kind of bred, you would say, in the nicest possible way with humans and greys. So like this is real, this is happening. So recently I just decided, okay, I'm gonna honor this part of the extraterrestrial of me and start sharing it a little bit more. And there's a couple of other times where I remember I was taken to the ship. I was driving along the road at 17 and there's no time and space in the galactic, in the quantum field, and I was removed from the car and taken to the ship, and some eggs were removed from me there. So just up until probably about a month ago, I was still being visited and still eggs being passed through. So they've got lots of eggs now, and I decided I'd had enough. I wanted to have my cycle normal because, there was heights of this process as well. Like my cycle was hot and cold. It was quite irregular because they would leave the eggs to a certain point and then they would drop and I would ovulate. And it's a funny thing. Anyway, so at the start of this journey, there were two little kids that kept coming to me. And I didn't know their names, but I knew, oh man, am I going to have another baby? Trying to work it all out, trying to make sense of it. Anyway, I have come to learn that I've got two hybrid children. And Pete's got a couple, brother Dan's got a couple, and a few other people have got a couple. It's very fascinating to find this information out. So the hybrid children are preparing to come to Earth. They're on a ship right now and they are being somewhat schooled to learn the human way. So some of the hybrids, I've got two hybrids, a boy and a girl. One is Shiva and one is Taurus. And I recently got a man, Peter from Australia, to do me a bit of a art of what that looks like, and I'll flash it up here in the screen now so you can see what he come up with. They are a little bit white and alien looking. I'm not sure if they look exactly like this, but it's a very close drawing or artwork of what they actually look like and feel like. So for Shiva, she's they're about 6-7 years of age. They come up to about my hip height, and so Shiva has a lot more of the grey ET personality. So she's very intellectual. Her heart's not as open as a human would be. So the DNA of the grey is more prominent in her being. However, when she comes to Earth School in the near future, she will be able to, grow in that spirituality, in that human, because, coming through this line, her soul has gone into that physical being and wants to then ascend with us. So she is excited to come to Earth. She came to me first. She was a beautiful soul, and I went through this process of grieving, actually. It was, and I'm sharing this because if you're listening to this and you have this feeling that, this is me too, it's okay. I want you to know that you're not weird. It's happening to a lot of people. I do a lot of sessions with a lot of people, and they are all saying similar things. They're at different levels, obviously, but there's an inner knowing that they're a part of this program. And if you're a light warrior, a way shower, or a star seed, you're probably involved in this, which is cool. So Shiva is beautiful. She's got blonde hair. She's got little bangers from what I feel and see. And she's nice. She's like, really wants to know about everything though. She's one of those young girls that's, if you can imagine a young 8-year-old girl asking lots of questions, never shutting up, and just really here for the experience, but very intellectual. Taurus, he's a boy. He has a beautiful little haircut, and he's more human and he's more delicate. So he's got this beautiful heart that's open, that's very shy. He's got a lot more human DNA in him than Shiva. And, it was hard for me to meet him and connect with him at the beginning because he was so shy. But I knew there was this longing for another boy. And I kept feeling it. And then he presented himself one day, and I saw him for what he was. And I always knew I had two, but I wasn't sure if there was a boy or a girl or what it was, but I just was sensing their feelings to begin with. So Taurus is just this beautiful boy, soft and delicate. He's younger than Shiva. And, when I go up to the ship and see him, he's very shy. But then as soon as he knows who I am, he's drawn like this mother love, like this. And so he came running over to me, and I just gave him this biggest hug. And it was like, whoa, okay, this is real, because of the feeling, it's like you can tap into past timelines, future timelines, and now timelines, and you can still sense the smell of the perfume, the feeling of the cuddle, all of these senses within our being holds the cellular memory. And so the DNA and the feelings of this match of love, of this longing for my children, was just really overwhelming, actually. And it's taken me a couple of weeks to actually get into the mode to do this video, because I've been working through that emotion of that longing. But then I come to realize that, I work with them a lot in the astrals at nighttime when I go to sleep. That's why I like to rest a lot, so I can connect with all my star family. My consciousness and my soul goes off and does all this work behind the scenes to help humanity, to help other star systems, but also to help and work with the children and bridging the gap of the hybrid program. And just making it a little bit more normal, not making it so alienated like, maybe an agenda wants you to feel, or make other people segregated or separated, from having these types of feelings and being weird and having to be put on medication or whatever. So look, there's hybrid children. They're on many ships. They want to come to Earth. They want to learn the human way. They've got human DNA, and they do look half human, half grey. We need to get ready for this. We need to prepare for this interaction. It's such an exciting time. There's nothing wrong with this. They're not going to take over our planet and because that's, remember, that is coming from a 3D low frequency perspective. We need to be attached to nothing, open to everything, go and flow. So look, if you do have a feeling that you have hybrid children, pop a little comment below, give it a little love heart. If you don't want to share, that's okay, but make it okay to share. This is me putting up my hand and saying, hey, I've got this little thing, and coming out of the kind of closet, so to speak. And it's a longing that you feel, like this longing, and it's a knowing. It's a knowing coming from the high realms, from this knowing consciousness being that's supporting all of us, only if we entertain it. If we sit with ourselves daily and connect with the highest form that you know how, you're always going to get answers. You're always going to have interaction back. But you need to silence this tool. This is a tool. It's not the real you. It's a human tool for ascension. It's not the heart. It's not the portal. It's not your consciousness. It's a tool. And everyone is using this to get around in life and society today. Yes, it gets you from A to B, but does it tap into here? No. We need to have heart-brain coherence, but this is the boss in here. So tap into your heart, sense who's around you, sense the energies. It will come when it's ready, when it's ripe. The children will come to you when they're ready. And, it's happening. It's going to happen in the next few years. Like, we're on track for this. We're elevating fast. When we get to this higher 4D dimension, we're tapping in and out of 5D. Remember, we don't stay in one place. We're going up and down. We're moving. We're constantly flowing and moving and tapping into vibrations and going back down, purging, coming back up into heights of gifts and abilities and connection. It's always moving and rising up, up, up. So when we're tapping into these higher frequencies, it's very you've got the potential to actually be tapped into the knowing being and to high frequency archangels and other light beings most of the day. That's where we're getting. That's where we're going. We need to be up in 5D majority of the day. And we're very capable of this. We just got to drop a little bit more density and raise the vibration, eat healthy, drink healthy, and be happy. Tap into the high frequency channel. Turn off anything negative. It doesn't serve you. If you get triggered, go and work on that. Heal through it. Move through it. But tapping in daily, setting the intention to make time for you to feel that bliss. If you don't actually make time for it, you're never going to achieve enlightenment. I mean, you'll get there eventually, everyone does, but it's going to take a long time. So the idea is to make an appointment with yourself a few times a day to tap into that feeling of love and bliss and tap into those beautiful hybrid children. There's a lot on the ship. I've seen a big ship. We've gone aboard the ship. There's volunteers, human volunteers that are actually up there working with them right now to teach them the human way, to help them so they don't come through a portal here and they don't just freak out. They're getting taught food. They're getting taught how to grow things aboard the ships. There's so much happening that we have no idea about. That's why we've got to raise our vibration and get happy and remember who we are. We're an infinite being. We're having a human experience with a cloak on right now of human. You're a soul. You're an infinite soul. So yeah, there's my little secret for the weekend. I hope that message finds you well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I know there will be a lot of questions. And thank you always for your love and support and your beautiful comments, your beautiful energy. And, Pete and I are just so grateful for being able to stand in our truth and have support. That's, if we didn't have support, if it wasn't the right time to come out with all this information, we would feeling, embarrassed and all of that. But I know it's the right time at this point. That's why we're having our awakening. That's why everything's perfectly, divinely timed. So listen to the synchronicities. The ETs tell me the two tips to the universe, the secrets to the universe is follow the passion of excitement and thrill and, profound. If that's what you get excited about, follow that excitement. If it doesn't make you feel excited, don't do it. If it makes you feel excited, go for it. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2 was listen for the synchronicities. Don't force anything. Wait, see the sign or see the synchronicity, move, right? So constantly looking and being aware of the synchronicities, where they come from, what they're doing, move with it. Don't try and force something that's not ready, because it won't work. It'll end up being a lesson or a blessing, something to purge out. But wait for the synchronicities. Be patient. Learn to be patient and work with the energy. We are only energy. Yeah. Okay, a bit of a long one today. So love you all. Thank you once again for your beautiful support. Happy full moon. It's a beautiful big moon tonight here in Australia, and I'm going to go out and ground into earth and bring in the light for the planet, anchor it into the core of the earth so we can help the planet and the humans all elevate and be amazing and have fun and love and bliss. All right, guys, love you all. Talk soon. Bye.